Up next, the grand opening of a new recreation center, library, and park in Wheaton. Ghostbusters in our streams. And getting to the core at Locust Grove Nature Center in Bethesda. Delicious. On September 8th, 2019, Montgomery County hit a milestone. The first county complex that combines a recreation center, library, used bookstore, and park, all into one location. The ribbon cutting of the Wheaton Library and Community Recreation Center on Georgia Avenue included residents, county officials, staff, friends, and volunteers, all gathered together to celebrate this long-awaited project.
Oh, what a wonderful day this is. As I was driving up Percola and realized that the traffic was backed up. I don't know, it was like 2 miles. I realized, okay, this is great.
Thank you so much for coming out. This is an amazing crowd here. I mean, just look around at how many people have shown up for the opening of a library and a rec center. It's really phenomenal. So thank you so much.
At a time when division, hateful rhetoric is at an all-time high, I am proud to represent this district and this community. Our children, I think, see all of us working together as a role model, as a possibility for what we can continue to do in Montgomery County, in our country, and in the world.
Very excited to see it.
Like there's like a bookstore, there's like a playground, there's like a big new library.
They had like gyms, arts and crafts room. I think that's really cool about it.
This facility is going to, for many generations to come, be a gathering spot. This is going to help improve the quality of life of county residents. This is going to do a lot to be vibrant from our business community. It's going to be a connector.
This is great to see something happen like this in the community. This is number one. First time ever, and this is the best.
Oh, I think there's a tremendous amount of enthusiasm.
It really is a long time coming. For the past, years that I've been on the council, since I stepped foot in the door in 2010, we've been working on this, and to finally see this come to fruition, I know it's a great day for us, but it's an even greater day for the community as a whole.
Previously, the recreation center and the library existed as two separate buildings, down the street from each other. They were old, built in the early 1960s, and in need of renovation and repair. The decision to move forward with one new building was made. Design planning began in 2013 and included community input as well as coordination with many county agencies, the Departments of General Services, Recreation, and Libraries, along with Montgomery Parks, WSSC, PEPCO, and the State Highway Administration. Construction started in the fall of 2016. The final cost? $70.9 million.
Waited a long time for this.
Workout room, very impressive. The gymnasium and library, of course, very beautiful.
I was just super impressed. It's really amazing.
The 92,000 square foot building is state-of-the-art, evident at every turn. Recreation amenities include a 3-bay gymnasium with an elevated track, a fitness center, game rooms, a pottery studio, a social hall with a commercial kitchen, a dance/exercise studio, and classrooms. The library offers more than 63,000 print volumes and media, rooms for study and meetings, and spaces to hang out. Technology includes public computers, Wi-Fi, self-checkout, laptops to borrow, and more.
We have a great public library system, 21 public branches, and they're all across the county. This will be one of our largest to compete with Silver Spring in an area where there's a great need.
Friends of the Library Montgomery County operate a used bookstore at the site, and the prices can't be beat.
I bought a book so far.
Which book?
Diary of the Wimpy Kid Getaway. $4.
While the building is big, it manages to be environmentally friendly, using LED and natural lighting, regional and recycled materials, a green roof, and high-performance mechanics. Shared common spaces allow optimized facility use. A cafe is coming as well. Another popular shared space is the 2.3-acre park outside, complete with musical instruments and an open green space. Both above-ground and underground parking is available too. Programming for the Wheaton Library and Community Recreation Center begins in November 2019. For information about hours, classes and programs, room rentals, and more, go to these websites. The Montgomery County Department of Parks manages more than 36,000 acres of parkland. Some of it includes streams, ponds, and lakes. These areas are monitored to show the health and well-being of the water and aquatic life within it. This summer, we tagged along on a biological monitoring session in the Paint Branch Stream in Silver Spring. The Paint Branch Stream is a tributary of the Northeast Branch, which flows to the Anacostia River, then the Potomac River, and then the Chesapeake Bay. Dave Segrist is an aquatic biologist, and his job is to monitor the streams before they get to the Chesapeake.
Today what we're doing is the fish sampling, and we use what's called a backpack electrofisher to do that.
Segrist works for the Montgomery County Department of Parks. He, his staff, and volunteers went electrofishing.
Looks a lot like a Ghostbuster backpack, we know. Get that all the time.
Basically, it's got a battery on the back and it has a positive and negative ends on either end, and it puts an electrical current into the stream, which temporarily immobilizes the fish, and that allows us to capture them in a non-lethal way. What we basically are doing is baseline monitoring of the health conditions of the streams.
We found margin mad tom, which is a kind of catfish, which is it's a good indicator of good water quality. So finding them in any stream is always a good find.
The biological advantage of looking at the fish and the benthic macroinvertebrates is that kind of will give you a rougher idea of how things have been going and how things continue to go.
The team captured all different kinds of aquatic life.
I have learned a lot about what is in our streams since I started working here. Before, you kind of just look at it, you're like, oh, that's pretty, you know, you don't really get in there, but when it amazes me every time we bring new people here, like for example today with the volunteers, they are so surprised on how many fish are in the stream.
I had no idea. We found eels probably about this big. I'd never seen one of those around here, and just all other kinds of fish. I'd seen the little minnows, but there are a ton of big fish that I'd never seen before.
The data taken
4.5
is shared with the Montgomery County Department of Environmental Protection.
We put that data together to kind of get a good snapshot of stream health. Different fish species, different macroinvertebrate species will give you an idea of what the water quality is, who's thriving and where it's going.
The results lead to future decisions by the county on stormwater management, development projects, and parkland acquisitions in the future.
And then that also can infer decision making on what we can do within that watershed.
But it shouldn't be a shock that this type of environmental research
there's a goldfish.
is more than just numbers for these electrofishers.
I think that being able to have a connection with my surroundings, whether I'm indoors or outdoors, is like a huge part of my life, and it helps me be present in my daily life. And as soon as I have that connection with the outside, it's kind of impossible not to care about it.
You give volunteers that experience, anybody who comes for the first time, it's almost like they get that ownership.
So far so good. One pass down, one to go.
To find out more about the biological monitoring program at Montgomery Parks, go to this website. Each fall, the Locust Grove Nature Center in Bethesda celebrates the almighty apple. County Council member Andrew Friedson dropped by to see where all the fun was stemming from and learn more about the center.
We're here at Locust Grove, one of Montgomery Parks' 4 nature centers, right here in District 1 along Democracy Boulevard, where 2 major bus lines meet. Today we're here for Cider Days, an awesome activity, one of the many things that people can do here. So we're going to go press some apples. Check it out. Come and join us. Hello.
Can you guess how many apple varieties there are all over the world? 8,000. 8,000? We're getting very close now. 7,000. You're right, it's about 7,000 different varieties of apples. Which one did you like?
Mr. Johnson, a local,
Oh, you gotta vote.
a local apple from Colesville.
You try 2. Come on the other side.
Good job. Keep going.
There we go. We got it now. All right. One more time. 80. And if you wanted to get outside, you come back and get some more.
It's delicious. Hi, Angela. We just finished cider pressing. Tell us a little bit about some of the other programs that you have going on here.
Okay, well, this was one of our special theme weeks, Cider Days for September. In October, the last weekend of October, we'll have our Creature Days with creepy critters and nocturnal neighbors. So night hikes for Halloween, kind of the not scary Halloween, but to teach people how they should like their nocturnal neighbors. And then for November, we'll have our Turkey Days, which is based around Thanksgiving weekend to teach people about wild turkeys who are also our neighbors. And just to get people outside. We also run preschool, nature preschool programs 3 days a week, and toddler mommy and me programs 1 day a week. But we do things for grown-ups too. You just missed our cider nights last night.
Oh man, that sounds like it would have been a good one. And are you open year-round?
We are. A lot of people think we close in the winter, but we have winter programming. So preschoolers are out there in the snow. They're bundled up. They're ready to go. But we also have weekend programs, evening programs. We're open when people are not at work. So we work when everybody else is off so they can come play and get out in nature. In the spring, we have lots of springtime awakening programs. So frog hikes, salamander crawls, spring wildflower hikes, all kinds of things. And then we get into summer, and summer we're pretty heavy with our summer camps, but we still offer weekend programs.
So we were talking earlier about how the Nature Center isn't just about programming for kids. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, we actually serve a lot of adult populations. So we have adults with special needs who volunteer and do our animal care almost every day of the week. We also have special hikes with groups from our neighbors with Ivy Mount and with CSS, some of our special needs adults. And then we're trying to grow our programming for adults and seniors.
Well, speaking of being outside, tell us a little bit about some of the activities that young people and all people do here at the center.
So we're one facility in Cabin John Regional Park, which means all that 9+ miles of trails are available for people to use from dawn to dusk every day. All of our exterior outdoor facilities are open all day, every day. So people can come for the Nature Play Space, which is kind of unique. We call it the Nature Exploration Area. It's registered with DNR in the state of Maryland for all the play spaces, and it's all natural objects and natural materials. So we have a lot of Eagle Scouts help us build projects for that play space. You can also hike around the building. We have our frog pond right down here, the bird feeders you've been enjoying, and our Betsy Dotson native plant garden. So that's a memorial project and lets people see how they can landscape with native plants to attract pollinators and wildlife to their yard and create a little bit of habitat at home.
I grew up right around the corner, and I know you have a little bit of an interesting history here. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
We do. This originally was opened as a toboggan run, this particular facility, and that obviously was before risk management existed. But they used to launch toboggans down this hill where we have these really steep stairs. We call them our cardiac stairs because people are always breathing heavy by the time they get to the top. They used to launch toboggans down that hill and chill it as an ice run all the way down. So that was like 72 into 76. And then once the toboggan run was shut down, they decided to convert this building to a nature center. So our program room was originally the warming room, like the warming shed. It had a wood stove in there for people to come in and warm up. And what's our office used to be the storage shed for the toboggans. So they just built a bridge between, added the bathrooms, and that's what we have.
Well, that's great. Well, thank you, Angela, so much for having us, for your team welcoming us here and showing us all the amazing things that the Nature Center has to offer.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it.
For hours, activities, programs, and more at Locust Grove, as well as the other nature centers managed by Montgomery Parks, go to montgomeryparks.org. Well, that's it for today's show. Thanks a bushel.